Paper Trails from the Archive with Sojourners for Justice Press. 1842. In the heart of Boston, a city alive with abolitionist fervor, Josephine St. Pierre Ruffin was born. Born into a prominent black family at a time in a nation on the brink of change, her life would become a testament to the transformative power of publishing. At just 16, Josephine married George Lewis Ruffin, a barber whose ambitions reached far beyond the barbershop. George would go on to make history as the first black graduate of Harvard Law School and the first black judge in Massachusetts. Josephine didn't stand idly by in her husband's shadow. In 1893, she co-founded the Women's Era Club, the first organization created and led by black women in Boston. From this club emerged the Women's Era newspaper, the first publication in the United States both created and published by black women. The paper published the early writings of Memphis-based journalist Ida B. Wells Barnett, and even interviews and profiles of the likes of NYC-based writer Victoria Early Matthews and abolitionist Harriet Tubman. As editor and publisher from 1890 to 1897, Josephine harnessed the power of the press to amplify the achievements and struggles of black women across the country. The Women's Era was more than a newspaper. It was a catalyst of the suffrage movement. The Women's Era believes that the time is ripe for a convention of the colored women of the country, she declared. To agitate the subject, it proposes to publish the views of influential women. This was not mere rhetoric, it was an act of defiance. At a time when black women were doubly marginalized by race and by gender, Ruffin's platform carved out a space where our voices could resonate. Readers responded with affirmations that reflected a hunger for connection and representation. A woman from Chicago wrote to the Journal saying, "At a time when race interest seems at such a low, when our leaders seem tongue-tied, dazed, and stupidly inactive in the presence of unchecked lawlessness and violent resistance to Negro advancement, it is especially fortunate and reassuring to see and feel the rallying spirit of our women." Through the Women's Era, Josephine proved that the press could be a tool of empowerment. Her newspaper became a sanctuary for voices often ignored and a reminder that change often begins quietly, on the page, in the margins, before it grows loud enough to fill the street or reverberate through courtrooms. What made Josephine's work so remarkable was not just its focus on activism, but its insistence on showing the fullness of black women's lives. It wasn't only about fighting injustice, it was about celebrating our achievements, nurturing our imaginations, and creating spaces where we felt safe enough to be brave. Her pen, her paper, and her unshakable belief in the power of community laid the foundation for movements that would echo far beyond her time.